BandArrow.com. What we're going to do is we're going to go over a little bit about how the reviews work. A lot of people, they think they're going to put their band up to be reviewed, and then they're supposed to come back with all fives because their song's good. That's not how it works. A good song is not all fives, and I'll give you an example why. If you go to down here to the other reviews, right here will always be welcome to BandArrow. You can also go to the news section, and we'll go through the news section so you can see it right there. You can go to welcome to BandArrow right there. This explains the review system. This gives you an idea of how the reviews work, because sometimes I do a review and then people hang their heads because they have a 3 in something, or their band is a 3.5. This says all fives is an anomaly of a song. A great song doesn't have to be all fives. Many times, it says right here, there are times that an all five song is not a home run. That's important. Now, if you listen to, like, say, an Yngwie Malmsteen song, Yngwie Malmsteen is one of the best guitar players out there. And then he's going to have a really good supporting band with great bassist, a great drummer, and then he usually has someone like Jeff Scott Soto singing, and a great powerful voice singing. So they got great vocals, they've got great musicianship going on, and then so those are 2 fives right there. He's very original. He created basically neoclassical guitar and the neoclassical guitar movement. That's Yngwie Malmsteen. So he's extraordinarily original in his makeup. A lot of the stuff that he does, the song structure is a mix between rock or heavy metal and classical music, and it's got this really great structure to it. And so there's really like top 5 great things about this band. So they're like off the chart in all these areas. And then if it was me, I was reviewing it as musicianship and all this stuff. But the problem is most of the stuff that he puts out doesn't sell. It sells to people who want to hear really good guitar players. So those are knock out of the park sections, but it's not a great song. Now, and that's really what this explains. This is what kind of makes a 5, and what it is we want to showcase the band as for, what is it about this band, what have they got to offer and stuff like that. And I was listening to a song the other day, and I was telling my wife, I was like, hey, she was singing it in the background, and I said, that song, like my reviews, that's just a basic 3 song in my review system, but it sold millions of albums. So 3s are really what sells. So don't get discouraged with the 3, because 3 is a good song. A 3.5 is a very good song, and those are generally where your selling points are going to be. Now I'm going to give you some examples. Go to the Misfits. I love the Misfits. All right, you can see 5 million views. And that's just, I've seen 36 million views of some of the stuff that they've got. But this is a radio-friendly version of a song. And listen to it. It's not that great. All right, you can hear it's very punky, it's dirty, it's kind of ugly, it doesn't have really good guitar structure. It's really going to have mainly the guitars and the drums. I mean, the guitars and the bass playing the same thing. Anybody that knows anything about Danzig knows that he's got an extraordinarily original voice, so he's getting a little bit of points on the voice. The song structures aren't really that great, but they're just kind of hooky sing-along tunes. These are like probably in some of the ranges, like musicianship, stuff like that, you're looking at 2s, 2.5. But this is the Misfits. People love the Misfits. They're still going around, and anytime they can see them, people are swarming to them. They're a phenomenal, wonderful band, and they are nowhere close to a 5. Okay, and in the musicians section, and I want to give people the idea that we want to appreciate the instrument and the musicianship that somebody has gone through. It would be completely unfair to rate a song like this, to rate a song like that in guitar just because they didn't make any mistakes. We can say that's a 5, and then go to this person. You see the difference? Now, if you're doing this, I'll give you a 5. And my point is there's a clear difference between this and this. And I tell you right now, this will sell. This will sell before this will. And so if you want to sit there and say, you only gave me a 3 on musicianship, well, you're getting a 3 on musicianship because you're not doing this in your instrument. Even on vocals, there's people that, you know, like I said, Jeff Scott Soto, who is just like phenomenal, wonderful singer. And you're just like, man, that dude is belting it out and killing it. That's a 5. And if you're me singing, you know you're not a 5. I'm not. Okay? So the idea is not if it's a 5, it's a good song. And so what a lot of people do is they go into the review section, and that's the opportunity for you to go to and tell people what you think about them. Like, let's go to the Sixters. That's the last one that I went to. That's the last one that I've done a reaction to. And you can see the video, blah, 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 blah. And you can see the reviews, and you can see what I gave them. And other people, you all have the ability to give it whatever you want to. 9 votes. They've got a 4.1 out of 5, and I gave them a 4. I think that's pretty close. You know, so if you go to any of the reviews, you'll see that what I gave them and the average what everybody else gives them is generally very, very close to being the same. Madison Olds, we'll go to that one and check, and just to make sure that I'm not lying to you, you can go down and see what I gave her, and you can see 3 votes. I've given her a 4, and I guess she has a 3.8 average from me. I mean, can't get much better than that in closeness, besides being dead on. So what I'm trying to say is, 3s, it's like, if you remember, if you took college and stuff like that, a lot of times once you get into a doctorate program or something, especially if you get into not really a doctorate like the doctorate I'm in, but if you get into a doctorate like medical school, they say C's make degrees, C's make MDs. So if a C makes an MD, then be appreciative of the fact that a 3 makes a really good song. So don't be let down if I get review you and I give you a 3 somewhere or something like that. Read it, see if it's constructive feedback, and use that to say, yeah, maybe I do need to make a change. Maybe I never listened to my own songs with somebody else's ear. And come on here, let me review you, let the world review you, and tell you what we think about you. Then you can get some feedback, and you can try to make that great song that you want to make. And that's what the review does. It says you're misguided by your own individualism, because what you've done is you've put your individualism into a song, and when you get a review back that's a 3.5, you feel let down that you're not good enough as an individual. And that's not the way it works. Is you're trying to not, you want to be individualistic in your music to an extent, but to the other extent, you have to be able to reach all the people listening to it. So in America, there's but we'll just say 300 million people in America. If you want to make a hit song, you only have to reach 1%. That's 3 million albums sold. So think about that. So, but you have to be able to reach 3 million people, 3 million personalities, 3 million individuals, and be able to touch them in a way that they appreciate your music. And that's what we're trying to do with the review process. Are you reaching that? Are you elaborating enough about yourself to be creative in your way that you can be an unsigned band that becomes a signed band? We want to give you that opportunity. That's what this is all about. Come here, come check us out, get a review from us. Create a profile, create a band profile, groups and whatever. Be a part of the band Arrow. Be a part of the BandArrow.com.